Hello, and welcome back to Awakening Women's Wisdom, the podcast where we have conversations with women of diverse backgrounds about how they weave conscious grace, which is thoughtfulness, kindness, and compassion, into their daily life, and to also learn about a little bit of wisdom they've learned along the way. I'm Rebecca.
Hi, I'm Lorraine. Welcome back to our little podcast. It's really been fun already, the few minutes that no one's been able to hear but us, of getting to know this beautiful, lighthearted, beautiful woman that is coming to give us some of her time and share who she is. So I'm going to toss it back to Rebecca to do a proper introduction.
Yes, this is Sally Worth from Australia. Perhaps our guest coming from the longest distance, at least the most time zones, since it's tomorrow for her while we're recording.
That's right.
I met Sally a number of years ago, very naively taking an introductory course to the healing modality that she tapped into with her colleague Pam Myers, called Rekindling Ancient Wisdom. I had no idea it was a full modality and it would take me years to become a practitioner. But in those years, I've been very impressed by Sally's integrity about her own self-care, as well as working with other people, her balance with that seriousness with a lightheartedness, integrity, empowering, inspirational. It's just a beautiful package for this lovely human being. Sally, welcome and thank you for being here.
Welcome.
Well, thank you. Goodness me, that is just an incredible introduction. I'm a bit humbled by that, and if I'm completely honest, it's made me tear up just ever so slightly. So thank you. It's before I go into anything, it's been lovely meeting you both today and being on this morning and having a pre-chat. But Rebecca, I have been fortunate enough to spend a bit of time with you over the last few years, and it's been an absolute honor and a privilege to watch you learn, grow, and evolve. So pat yourself on the back, because I know when you signed up for that first workshop, like, dude, these time zones are pretty different, and I don't know if I can stay up that late. And I'm like, you'll be right. Who needs sleep? Like, you'll be right. And you did. You worked way into the night, and you just kept growing and growing and growing as time went on. So thank you for giving me the honor and the privilege of helping you guide you through that, along with Pam, of course. So
yes,
thank you.
Yeah, it was a win-win for sure. So now everybody knows, Sally, that you're in Australia and that you're an energy healer practitioner extraordinaire. But I'll let you.
Thank you.
Yes, I'll let you introduce yourself a little bit and give our listeners some sense of who you are.
So I have, with Pam Myers, my business partner, have been writing and developing a modality called Rekindled Ancient Wisdom. And we have had, for the last 27 years, the honor and the privilege of helping people move through their life experience. And we work with people with everything from physical pain to emotional trauma to just wanting to improve their life to, I don't know what my destiny is, help me find my direction. Like, you name it, we have the honor and privilege of being able to work with that. And I truly believe that I am the individual on this earth who has the most privileged position, because people open up to me in such a vulnerable way, and they show me their heart, and they show me what's going on for them. And to have someone's trust to be able to do that and work through a process with them is something that I will never take for granted. And every single day I am so incredibly grateful for. So when I say I live a very honored and privileged and blessed life, I truly do. Who gets to do that for 27 years, to wake up each day and know that you get to help people? And not only do you get to help people, you help to get them into their power so that they can then help themselves and move themselves forward. And ultimately, that's what the goal is. It's not about me fixing people. I don't fix anyone but myself. But if I can shift energy and give people tools and strategies to actually take control of their life and stand in their power and know how incredible they are and move forward from that framework, then that is the job that I have done. So 27 years I've been doing it, which sounds like a long time when I actually tell people that it's been 27 years, but it's just been a hell of a ride and a really good one. Raw chose us. We didn't choose Raw chose us. So how lucky are we?
Well, again, inspirational and empowering. That's why I use those adjectives. Thank you, Sally. No, it's a privilege to know you and to be able to work with you also. So, with getting our conversation here going, when is a time that you actually struggled with some circumstances that life presented, and what did you learn from that experience that brought you to the other side?
I guess everyone has stuff they struggle with in life. No one gets out of life scot-free, is what I say. But if you look at those things as ways to grow and evolve, then all of a sudden you can get such blessings out of the circumstances that you go through. And I think the one really stands out for me that really did ultimately change the direction of my life is when I was younger. When I was about in my teens, I started to get sick, and then I got really sick. And I had 50 million tests, and as people do, and I ended up in hospital. And I was 18 at the time, and a doctor came in and he sat down beside me and he said, "There's nothing we can do for you. This will be a management program for the rest of your life. You're just going to have to learn to live with it." And I was 18. And just to put it into context, I was just physically sick all the time. I was vomiting a lot. I had huge digestive problems. I'm 6 foot tall and I weighed 58 kilos, which is like nothing. I was like super thin because my digestive system was so bad. It was affecting me not only physically but psychologically, mentally, emotionally. And I remember falling down into the deep dark hole of when that conversation happened. And I lived the life of that person for the next 9 years, where I struggled through life. I was consistently unwell. I just thought, if I can just get through today, if I can just get through today. And when I was 27, something happened. I started to learn about energy, and it made me realize that there was another option. And that's ultimately, for me, for my part of Raw, is what spurred me on to write it, is because I was looking for answers for myself that I couldn't get from anywhere else. And at 27, I got fight. And I went, I don't want to live like this anymore. There must be more. And I will do what I can to create something within myself to change that pattern. Now, what I learnt from that experience was so many things. I now know what it's like to be incredibly chronically ill and to wake up each day feeling awful. I know the psychology of what it's like to be chronically ill. And what I realized as part of my getting wellness process, and I'm very fortunate that I'm well and healthy today, was I learnt the psychology of illness versus the psychology of health. And the difference is this, and it's vastly different. And it was for me, it might be different for other people, but for me, it was vastly different. When I was sick, I woke up every single day, and as soon as my eyes opened, I went, what's wrong? Do I feel nauseous today? Do I have pain today? Am I able to move my joints today? Do I have a headache today? And I had the roll call of dysfunction within my body. And that happened every single day for all of those years. But as I started to get well, my psychology started to change. My eyes would open first thing in the morning and I'd go, what's right today? And that started to be the foundation of my healing process. And then all the energy work that I did and everything that happened with Raw, and I am so grateful for Raw. I truly believe it saved my life, and it came into my life at the perfect time. But to learn the psychology of illness versus the psychology of health has been just such a huge learning curve for me. But what it has taught me in terms of what I do now, take away the fact that I was writing Raw to try and fix myself. Selfishly, I was trying to fix myself. And fortunately, it's helped thousands of people around the world. So what an added bonus that is. But it's taught me compassion. And I don't believe that I would have truly had the compassion that I have now and the understanding that I have now if it wasn't for that experience of being so sick for so long. And that doctor did me a favor when he said, this is your life now. You're just going to have to manage it, because I fell into it for 9 years, but eventually I did get fight. So I think I, as a human being, am who I am based on that experience, multiple other experiences as well. But that one was just such a pivotal one for me.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm so grateful that you're healthy and that you got yourself.
Thank you.
Wow. What a journey. What a journey. So I'm wondering, how you survive. Okay, so there's like two questions here. How did you survive that mentally when you were through it? And now that you are healthy, I'm wondering, because the question is kind of like, how do you stay grounded? But there's two definite aspects of your life, the unhealthy and the healthy. So is there a way that you can interpret that? Well, let me just put it out there. How do you stay grounded? Let's start it that way.
There was a lot of years that I wasn't, if I'm completely honest. When I was in the turmoil of the unwellness and I had that whole identity,
Yeah.
there was nothing grounded about me at all. Like I was living in a world of uh, I guess I'll explain it this way to you. There's two worlds that I lived in. One was survival world, which is when I was really unwell, and one was empowered world, which is when I started to come into who I was and start to take control of what I could do, control the controllables. And when you are in survival world, you're not grounded at all. And the reason is because of the questioning that you're asking yourself. So the questions that I asked myself consistently were not only what's wrong with me, that took up a big part of my consciousness, but you also ask questions like, why is this happening to me?
Mm.
Why me? All of that is survival based questioning, and it keeps you in that loop of what you're going through. And as you start to come out of it and get into a health based consciousness, your questioning starts to change from why me? Why is this happening to me? And it starts to go into empowered based questioning, or evolution based questioning, let's call it, which is, what can I do today that will make this better? Let me find the solution today that is going to make me better. And that is where the groundedness started to come in for me. So when I was in survival, you genuinely can't be grounded when you're in that place. You've got too much going on, and your emotions are all over the place. Your thoughts are all over the place. Your body's responding in a really full on way, and you think there's no way out of it. And when you're in that spiral, and I was in it for a number of years, when you're in that spiral, it's impossible to be grounded, and it's impossible to come out of it until you start getting out of survival and moving into evolution based questioning, because that really starts to become a key. Because when you start to talk about evolution based questioning, i.e., what can I do today to make this better, then all of a sudden that's a different energy connection you've got to, why me? Why me? Why is this happening to me? I'm 18 years old, or I'm 20 years old, and it's really difficult. While I was still working, holding down a job, doing all those things that you've got to do, you've got to pay rent and you've got to do all of that sort of stuff. So I guess grounding for me didn't happen when I was in illness. It only started to happen as I started to come out of that.
So you've evolved from the victim to the victor.
Yeah, absolutely. I didn't see it as a victim energy back then. I saw it as, that's just the way it has to be.
Yeah.
But I guess my questioning absolutely was victim based questioning, but I didn't associate it at the time. It's only when you get to the next step of your evolution and look back, can you truly start to see what it meant to be here. You can't analyze here when you're here. It's only when you've evolved to a next set of circumstances, and we're all evolving consistently, right? There'll be a time in 10 years' time where I'll look at where I am here and I'll go, oh, okay, right. I wasn't doing this, or I wasn't connected here, even though I feel much better than where I was 20 years ago. Evolution is a fascinating mechanism, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, absolutely, that's true. And I love what you've highlighted here with the victim-based self as opposed to the evolved place, because one of them, obviously, we don't have any power. We're disempowered. And when you recognize, what can I do, that automatically, as you said, is a whole different vibration, because you're empowered. There are actions you can take, choices you can make, decisions you can make that put the power back in your own hands, your life back into your own hands. So
yeah, absolutely. And I think for me, I had to change my psychology first. And I didn't realize that's what I was doing at the time. But now in hindsight, I go, oh, I was changing my mind. I was seeing something greater. I was creating something greater. but I didn't see that at the time. That's only what I've learned and understood as time's gone by.
Yeah, well, it's tremendous, because I know whether it's a health thing, uh, mental health, emotional health, circumstances, relationships, jobs, it doesn't matter how it's presenting. As you mentioned earlier, we're all in life. Life happens. And we all can have that sense of things that are out of control, and shift that perspective into a place where we can bring it back into our own hands and change things. So it's,
Yeah.
and the mind is a big part of that, for sure.
I love how
Yeah.
you refer to that as changing your psychology. It's huge.
Yeah.
It's so empowering. You were disempowered and now you're empowered. It's amazing.
And it's relatable. I think anybody will have some experience where they can go, oh yeah, this pertains to me in this way. I can apply this.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. The first step is to reframe anything, because as you think the same thoughts, you create the same energy, which is going to create the same results. So if you can reframe something in your mind to have a new state of awareness around that, and sometimes that's difficult. I'm not saying that it's the world's simplest thing when you're going through big stuff, but if you can find a way to reframe it, then instantaneously you shift the energy. And when you shift the energy, then you can start to build onto something new. And evolution is, there's just such this thing around evolution that people just think they get on the path and it's just this beautiful upward trajectory. And it's so not that at all. So when people do their evolution, which is like this, it's dips and it's peaks and but you're still going up, but there's troughs within that. They hit a trough and go, oh, this isn't working. This isn't working for me. No, it's just a reset moment. And then you can build again, and then you're down. It's the way we evolve. It would be lovely if we just went, oh, look at that. How beautiful is that? But it is peaks and troughs. And it's when you hit the trough, it's going, where am I? What can I do now to move through it? What is the solution that I can find now? And then use that as the stepping stone to get to the next place.
Yeah, the troughs of the learning.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they are. And here's the thing. I love science. I'm a bit of a science geek, and I love neuroscience. I've spent a lot of time training in that over the last few years. And it's been proven that our brain rewires quicker under challenge. So we need the challenges to rewire. We need the challenges to evolve. And if you look at nature as a general rule, everything has a challenge to thrive. You plant a seed in the ground, it has to fight to get through the earth, to find the sunshine, to thrive. When a baby is born, it just doesn't walk out going, this is wonderful. It is a fight to get out. It's for the mother too, let's be honest. But for the baby, it's a fight. It's a push to get out. Everything in life where we thrive, it doesn't matter if it's an animal, it doesn't matter if it's a plant, it doesn't matter if it's a human being. There is a challenge that allows it to happen. And it's because we rewire quicker and we learn in the challenge. So if we can embrace the troughs, then all of us, and see them as the learning that they are, then we have this amazing capacity to exponentially increase what we can do in our world.
Beautifully said.
Very true. Very, very, very true. Well, Sally, you've shared about how your mind and psychology has evolved. And so let's take this word evolved and just shift it into, reshape it into another question. How has the relationship with yourself evolved over time?
Look, I am a vastly different human being to what I was way back in my teens and my early adulthood. It's really interesting. I came into this world with a surname Worth, which everyone thinks, how cool is that? You've got a surname that's Worth. That has to be the best surname on the planet. But when you grow up with a surname like Worth, this is what happens. People call you worthless. They'd go, oh, hey, worthless, how are you? Or Silly Worth, how much are you worth? Not very much. It became this consistent energy that I heard over and over again.
Wow.
And when you're young and when you're hearing it from peers and adults, and it starts to impact you. Now, I know that looking back, the people who were saying that thought that they were being funny, right? But when you hear it thousands and thousands and thousands of times, you start to take on that persona. So I grew up thinking that I had no value in this world, and I never ever felt good enough about anything that I did or anything that I said or anything that I created. I always could have done better. I should have done better. If I submitted an assignment, it wouldn't matter if I got 98%, someone else did better than me. I just had a view of myself as secondary to the rest of the world. And then when I got sick, that just enhanced that, right? Because then I couldn't do stuff. So I just added value to my feelings of worthlessness that I had inside of me. And it's not until I started Raw and I started working on myself that started to come out. And now I can actually see my value. I can see what I can contribute to the world. Am I still working on that? Of course I am. We're all works in progress, right? No one hits an end point until it's their time to transition. But I can actually start to see the value now in what I do and what I can bring to the table and how I can help myself and how I can help other people. And teaching has absolutely helped me do that. Having the privilege of working with thousands of people over the last 26 years, and teaching and working with them has helped me see my worth. And I think for me, that has been the biggest transition. And I often use the line, I came in with my karmic wound in my name, because it was with me consistently all day, every day, right? I couldn't escape it. I couldn't go into denial with it. Someone would say something to trigger it again. So it was something that I was really forced into having to overcome, because if I didn't, there would have been a lot of misery in life associated with that, right? So I think for me, the biggest evolution has been stepping into my worth and seeing the value that I have. Is it still a work in progress? Absolutely, but vastly changed, like vastly changed. I believe that I have value on this planet now. And if you asked me when I was 18 or 20, I would not have said that.
Wow.
Wow, sure. Yeah. Wisdom comes with age and experience.
Yeah, absolutely. And we often judge ourselves for not knowing earlier, right? It's like, I should have known that earlier. I should have done that earlier. We as a human race need to forgive ourselves for the things that we didn't know that only time could teach us. We weren't a failure back then. We weren't a failure back then. We needed time to teach us what we know today. So never look back on yourself and go, I should have done it differently back then. You didn't know. You did the best you could with the knowledge that you had available to you. And when you know better, you do better. And that's why self-work is just so important for everyone.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. I was going to ask you for leaving us with a tidbit of wisdom, but that kind of covered it.
You got another one, Sally?
Another one in there?
Can you top that?
I'll see what I can pull out. Oh, there's a rabbit. Yeah, there's a rabbit. I think
it's quite beautiful. Quite beautiful.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. I think, we've all survived 100% of our bad days, every single one of us. And that tells us that we all have power within us. Even in our darkest times, we've managed to find a way through. And whether you're going through that dark time now, you're still getting up every day and you're still lifing. If your dark time was, 10 days ago, 10 years ago, whatever, you're still getting up and you're still lifing. Do not ever let yourself fall into the trap of believing that you are not enough. Do not ever let yourself fall into the trap of believing that there's not more in this world for you, because every single one of us has a purpose. Every single one of us has power. And if you honor yourself and start asking yourself questions that are not survival in nature, but what can I do? What am I here for? And how do I get to the other side of this? Your life changes. And if I was to give one tip, because I like to give a process for people, so I would like to give one quick process that everyone can utilize every day. And that's pick up these things, your mobile phone, we all have them. I call this my mechanism of evolution, because things get scheduled within that, right? We lose our life to these things, but let's turn it into a mechanism of evolution. And in that, twice a day, set an alarm. And when that alarm goes off, you will read the words, what can I do to love myself more in this moment now? And then do something and action it. It might be hold your heart. It might be send yourself love. It might be look in the mirror, put a smile on your face and go, I love you. It might be an affirmation, whatever it is for you. But if you can twice a day come to a place of what can I do right now to love myself more in this moment, you not only feel better about yourself, but you change who you are as a human being, which helps ripple that vibration into the world. And if there's one thing this world needs now, it is love. So that is just a really simple, quick process that everyone can do just to enhance their own inner well-being.
That's amazing.
Well, thank you for that, Sally, because I was going to throw you a curveball and say, I know how dedicated you are to self-care, and would you have some little nugget of self-care that you would leave us with? So I love that you pulled that one out of the hat all by yourself.
I must have known, right? It's the psychic in me.
Forget the curveball. I'm going to beat her on that.
Wait a minute. We never have a gotcha question ever.
Just don't do that.
Rebecca, no.
I know, right? See, Rebecca knows me. She's like, Sally likes a curveball and Sally likes a tangent. So that's where Rebecca was coming from.
I love it.
Yes.
What a rich time we have spent with you. Thank you for being here. You're wonderful.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Yeah, it is an honor and a joy to connect with you in this way, Sally. For all the 3 or 4 years it took me to go through, and now you're still providing classes, so it's beyond the practitionership, but it's always a joy and privilege to hear these nuggets that you have along the way, because just as you have expressed in these minutes, these things, they're not out of reach for everyone. It's a matter of recognizing that the possibilities and opportunities are within our reach when we say yes, or ask the question, what can I do? Or what more can I do to make this circumstance or this relationship, even if the relationship is with ourselves, how we can make that a little bit better. And you've highlighted that throughout all of, just woven those threads through these minutes, and it's a great blessing. Thank you so much for sharing your heart, your knowledge, your wisdom.
No, thank you for having me. It's been an absolute blast and an absolute privilege. Thank you.
All right. Well, thanks a lot for listening, and we'll see you on the next one.
See you in the next one.